So today, I have with me for an interview, Shades of Shady, Lewd Cart, and Shady Corner. How are you doing, man?
I'm doing pretty good. I'm just honored to be on your show, dude.
Flattery will get you nowhere. Okay, we'll get you pretty far, but let's not go there yet. So, anyways, man, for the ignorant audience watching or listening to this right now, who are you? What do you do?
So basically I run this channel called Shady Corner, and what I do over there is I review video games with sex appeal, whether it be video games like Bayonetta or Blood Rain, those type of sexy games, all the way to the H games of the adult video game industry. And I kind of put like a funny spin on the reviews. Like I like to do comedic reviews. I try to do long format reviews and short format reviews, and trying to just sort of give people a voice in the community, especially on YouTube. What with YouTube not being too open about titty games. And obviously, as you mentioned before, I've recently gone into video game development myself.
Aye, can you tell us a bit about your game, Shady Lewd Cart?
So Shady Lewd Cart was kind of a concept that I had a couple of years ago, and it was my idea of combining a sexy video game with a concept that would, on paper, not sound like a really good idea to do. And what I wanted to do was to try to just take a concept that nobody had done before, and basically create sexy Mario Kart style gameplay with unlockable lewds or unlockable adult content, but still creating a more defined gameplay. So then that way that, you know, you're not just going in there for the lewds. You're going, it's like pour a fine wine, sit back and play the game. And, you know, if something else happens while you're playing the game, sweet. But I'm trying to give you an experience that was sort of, yeah, look, I don't mind if you want to use my video game as sort of a one-trick pony. That's completely fine with that too. But at the end of the day, I want to try to create an all-round experience. So if I had to sum it up, I'd say Lewd Cart Racing Sim, high-end gameplay and high-end lewds.
Alrighty then. I'm curious, how'd you get into this?
So the game, getting into the actual game development side, like after I was doing reviews for I'd say like 4 or 5 years, I'd already been developing games previously, before I was doing YouTube. And I figured, you know, I review sexy video games a lot, and I preach a lot when it comes to the do's and don'ts of what I look for in gaming. So I thought, why don't I just make a game? So I started making a couple of games and just diving straight in. Like I had an artist friend that I talked to, Ducky, and I just said to her, look, I want to get into making lewd video games. And we released, which was our top-down candle puzzle game, and it actually went over quite well, to the point where I was able to sort of step back and say, you know what, I think making this ridiculous go-kart lewd dating sim game with a Smash Brothers style roster of hentai characters isn't as crazy now as it was before, so I'm able to do it. And I just sort of went, so that's I just sort of kind of fell into it, really.
I'm curious, what about the YouTube channel? What made you decide to start reviewing lewd games?
So I mean, I already did a lot of stuff on YouTube previously. I had a little bit of success with it. I wouldn't say too much, but I always found that with comedy in general, and I love entertaining people. That my number one thing is, and it's gonna make me sound like, I try not to sound like more self-centered in a sense, but I prefer to make people smile over anything else, because that's just, I love doing that. I love making people laugh and making them smile over jokes. So when Lewd Sector when I had I'd been talking with a friend, and he used to run a website called Not Safe for Work Gamer. But he was looking for extra content, and I said I'd be willing to make some content that I've been, well, excuse the pun, gagging for, because I wanted to kind of spread my wings a bit and go away from the PG, doing more risque comedy. And then during the time I was doing this content, kind of swayed away from doing reviews. I thought I do have a lot to say, so I just kind of started doing them. And before I knew it, and this was just before the Patreon boom and at Lewd Games, I was reviewing games from kind of all the different, and it was between, at the time there was me, another guy called the Hentai Dude, and there was another guy called Fine Game Girls, which he's no longer around on the scene much either. And that, in the scene at that time, there were just the main three of us that I could find, and we just were kind of going against the YouTube grain, as what a lot of people would say. And yeah, before I knew it, I really started to enjoy doing reviews for these games. And then I realized that I really like sexy video games, and I love talking about them. But I love playing them. And I also love I love putting my face out there, because I'm not shy about it. And I think it's a topic that, look, you're not going to bring it up at the dinner table with your family, okay? You're not going to be like, hey, Dad, I just played this really good hentai game. At the same time, I think that, we should be a little bit more open about, the stuff we play, and a little bit more open to the creativity of that particular side of the medium, the genre. And that's kind of how I sort of got into it, was I wanted to sort of create a voice for people that to talk about those particular type of games.
Interesting. And why are you so open and enthusiastic about, well, all that is lewd?
It's funny. Like, okay, so in real life, I'm quite a chill dude. A lot of people go, "Oh, you're Shades. You must be like, wow, titties." Like, but honestly, I'm just as shy as the rest of everyone else. But when I put the shades on, I'm I guess it's just kind of like, I feel like when I'm in front of the camera, I can say anything that I want to say about a sexy video game, and about it where I guess when you've done the type of videos that I've done, you don't have much dignity left, so you're willing to just go, hey, look, you know what, I'm willing to talk about and again, there are some games when I first started doing the show, started with very vanilla stuff. My fetish wide right now because of the industry. A lot of people open me up to a lot of other stuff, and to be honest with you, I'm more than happy to it's gonna sound weird, to sample the lewd buffet, which is sexy video games.
Oh Lord. Oh, the YouTube algorithm is drooling at the bit right now to demonetize this.
Oh yeah.
Oh Lord. That actually leads to my next question. How do you financially sustain your business, what with, YouTube's hatred, undying hatred of all that is, well, not PG-13, and just the stigmatization around things that, well, just around porn in general?
So when I first started doing it, I got really creative with the censoring of videos, because I knew that if I was going to make I was going to make it a part-time business in a sense that I wanted to be able to put back into making the reviews better, making the quality better. I'd have to get creative. And after a while, fighting against YouTube is one of the hardest things, especially in this industry. For like, I mean, you could say one random word and now the algorithm picks you up. For probably the first 4 years, 5 years, I was earning money on YouTube. I haven't earned money on YouTube for, say, the last 3 years. The only time, because it's easier to not monetize my videos now to avoid the drama, because I find that there's something about the algorithm that it's more likely to get shot down than it is to not monetize the video. And so what I did was I thought, okay, well, I started doing DVDs of my review show, and I started doing some merch, which as well to sell the DVDs and the merch in my local area, which earned me enough money to sort of be able to sustain this as my, I guess you could say, my night job / hobby. Because right now, in between doing 2 to 3 videos a week, and then doing video game development, I am also working a part-time job 5 days a week. So I'm able to kind of sustain everything by the fact that I don't stop moving and the existence of coffee.
Aye, but do you get some proper sleep, man? Because I can only imagine that plays havoc with your sleep schedule.
Yeah, I get a lot of sleep. I think that when I say that I don't sleep, I do sleep, but I have a really set schedule in. I've always got notes that interviewing somebody, or I'm working on games, I'm helping consulting on games, I'm doing video reviews, but I tend to do all of that in bulk. So then what happens is, at, say, the end of a week and a half, I go off the grid for maybe 3 or 4 days. And even though I get like an average amount of sleep, those 3 or 4 days are kind of like my bare hibernation days where I just need to switch off. And it's going to sound really weird coming from me, but sometimes you can have too much titty.
I disagree, but continue.
But yeah, I try to keep that balance. At the moment, I'm actually getting married next month.
Holy shit! Congratulations!
Thank you very much. So I'm in between doing the game, doing my job, and doing videos and stuff. We're also organizing a wedding. So there isn't really a stop point at this stage. So to answer your question, I do get sleep in a very weird pattern.
All right then. Well, you take care of yourself, man. You take care of yourself, and I'm sure the lovely audience watching will want to help and support you in any way that they can by clicking the links I'm showing on screen right now that are in the description and the comment section. Shady Lewd Card, Shady Corner. Check him out. Oh, Jesus, man. Well, you live a hell of a life. I must say. And I couldn't help but notice earlier you mentioned you do interviews too? What is this? I'm interviewing an interviewer?
So I was doing interviews a couple of years ago. One for a Japanese video game called dlsite.com, and then I ended up interviewing Kira Buckland, the voice of 2B.
Bullshit! No way!
And she actually did some work for me back in my earlier days. She did some voice work.
What?
And I know it's really weird because I seem to know, I know everyone, or people seem to know me, and I don't know how it happens. But talking to her on a first name basis, I was like, "Hey, do you want to do this review. And fun fact, on my intro for my show, logo comes up and it says "Glory to Dat Kind." That's actually her saying that as 2B. So I've used for I've just recently started doing a new review show, which I haven't launched yet, and it's more talking to the developers of the industry into their mindset of, you know, what does it take to create a lewd video game, and you know, what's the work behind it, and I'm also trying to talk to artists, voice actors and actresses. I've recorded about 20 episodes so far, but I just haven't edited them yet because, well, you know, I may or may not have enough time on my hands at this stage.
Yeah, I can see that. I can see that. I'm curious, have you interviewed anybody I've interviewed?
Yes. Yeah. I've interviewed, let me see. I've got my list here. I can tell you.
This is interviewception right here.
KO Clover.
I haven't interviewed her yet.
Yeah, she's really good. I'm interviewing Pixie VA, which you've interviewed.
Yes! Very much. Yes! Yes!
I'm going to be interviewing SilkyMilk because she's done a majority of voices in Shady Luca. A lot of the girls in the AVA done voices for Shady Luca because I'm trying to again make it the biggest collab in hentai video game history. So not just the characters themselves, I'm also trying to actually create the biggest voice acting, the biggest artist collab in history. And then the other ones, I've been interviewing developers at the moment. So Andu Games, Ghost Hug Games, Karma Legends, Eclipse Works, Project Wolfenstyle, Dusky Hallows. These are all developers in the H sphere reviewing.
Damn, quite the endeavor. Quite the endeavor.
Mm.
So how do you get in contact with all these people? Do you have contacts that hook you up with them? Do you reach out? Do they reach out to you?
Most of the time, and originally before, it makes me age a lot when I say like back in the day when Discord wasn't around. I would just sort of reach out. I really loved your game. I'm going to do a video review about it or comedic review, and 99% of the time they'd be hell chill with it. Then obviously when Discord came along, I actually had the creator Future Fragments reach out to me, hentai writer, and he is an amazing guy. He's such a humble. I wouldn't be here in the further in the sphere if it weren't for him. He was able to give me extra connections and talk with more people to the point where I talk to 90% of these people on a day-to-day basis, even just to the point where I'm like, hope you guys are having a good day, or, you know, they're asking me how I am or what we're up to and stuff. So, but I can say to anybody that's aspiring to want to talk to their favorite creator to get some advice, or to with somebody if you would like to work with them, the biggest thing I could say is just ask, because case scenario is they're just going to say no. And most of the time, I've just asked, and I've been polite and courteous with their time frames and everything, because I know that they're all very busy. But you know, if you ask, you shall receive.
Alrighty then. Alrighty then. That's very interesting, man. I'm curious, what is your end goal? Do you want to create like a full-fledged, I guess, hentai porn company from this?
I'm not too sure about this. The empire of hentai. I would say that I would like to create I've already started creating a brand. So my goal would be to create a brand that would sort of something that you could trust, much like when you buy a game and it's got like a seal of approval on it. My end goal is, and a lot of my fans trust my opinion on the stuff that I review now, because if they watch my videos and comment, they say, look, that's a good game, I'm going to, I trust in what you say. So especially with games now, I'm trying to get a lot of developers signed under my publishing label. So then that way down the track, when I launch a publishing label, I want to be able to sort of have a sort of group or sector to say that these games have been approved by me, and these games I 100% trust and back behind the quality, the content. As for a job, a sustainable job, I would like to be able to make video games part-time. Look, anybody would say that they would love to leave their part-time job to be able to work more on the thing that they love. I don't necessarily think that will happen for me. I know it happens for a lot of other people. It would be a really cool end goal, because I'm a guy that I am flooded with ideas, and I'm constantly writing stuff down that I've got games planned for the next 30 years, which,
Holy shit.
I've got so much content that I want to do, but I'm only one person. So it is very hard to see that vision. So I just try to take every day as I go. So I'd probably...
Maybe what you need to do is assemble a crew of lewd Avengers to help you build your games.
I like to think that the core team I've got for Shady Luca at the moment, and they are people. They have been basically my sort of lewd Avengers. They honestly, I don't know what I would have... I would love the community to be, and this is why when Hentai Writer told me about you, and I started to see this, you've recently started sort of going into this sphere yourself, like interviewing not safe for work voice actors and actresses and such. It's really nice to see that more people are sort of making the jump. I really like that. I would think that, and hey, look, if you want to talk about butts or tits or whatever, you just do it, man. Just do it.
Can we get that in a Tommy Wiseau voice?
Yeah, like, hey, look, Mark, you do it. Well, that sounded more like Christopher Walken, really, didn't it?
That works too.
Yeah.
All right, man. Now, if you don't mind, let's move away from the more business, professional questions and ask a few more personal questions and get to know you.
Okay.
So tell me, what are some of your favorite hobbies?
Favorite hobbies. I like cooking. Cooking's one of my things I like to do recently. I've started to... I don't know. I'm just put an apron on me, stick me in the kitchen. I love it. And watch the fan art flooding now. I love to paint. I'm actually really into painting and sculpting. I find that, again, it's more creative stuff.
So you're a cook and an artist?
Yeah, well, like I wouldn't say like I'm like a... I love cooking. Love cooking in the kitchen. I love experimenting in the kitchen. And in terms of doing like art stuff, I started on paper. So for me, I love drawing and I love painting. And I've recently got back into sculpting. So for me, I've started sculpting and doing because it might actually turn into something. But yeah, because it's funny. Usually it starts as a hobby, and the next minute I'm like, oh, it's turned into a...
Okay. So tell me, are there any particular meals you like to cook, or any particular types of drawings or sculptures you like to develop?
Oh, okay. Well, so everyone knows if you're from my neck of the woods, everybody knows that I love nachos. That's my number one jam. I can eat that. Love nachos with a passion, and I love making all the uh, all the ingredients from ground up because that is just my jam. I absolutely love to do that. Um, in terms of sculpting and stuff, I really do love painting. I love. Um, I try to paint things that um, I particularly, and most of it's on canvas. So I haven't painted much recently. I'd say in like the last couple of months, but the sculpting that I've been working on has been more of a sort of it's been sort of a mix between models and paper mache style stuff. Um, I'll probably be like off on my social media soon, but I've been trying to get into. I love getting down to that sort of nitty gritty stuff where I really get my hands on it and I can actually morph it with my fingers. And that sounds really, really awkward when you're talking about hentai games 5 minutes ago. But like, if I can get down there and I can morph the clay, as you say, then I love that kind of creativity.
I see. I see. Well, what about movies, video games, sports? Any of those interest you?
Yeah, so video games. I love playing video games. I'm currently actually just recently because I didn't finish the story mode and I finished that recently, and I've been playing Super Mario Maker 2 because I really like that, and the Yakuza games on PS4 because I really really love the story, and the comedic timing in the Yakuza games is just perfect. Um, I've been playing those. I used to play sports back in the day. I used to play soccer and hockey and dodgeball.
Did you say hockey? Did you say hockey?
Yep.
Oh my god! Oh, you wouldn't happen to. Oh, sorry, inner Canadian is coming out. Did you play Did you play proper ice rink hockey or like street hockey?
It was more street hockey.
Ah, okay, plebeian. All right, so
yeah. Yeah. So I mean, and this was back in the day. But it's funny because I probably would get back out there and do more. It's more about the time frame of how much time I have got in the day. I still obviously, I have to fill those gaps of what I would want to do for sports. So I'm recently got back into doing exercising and stuff. I actually really love the treadmill. Right, I can just set up a podcast. I was just about to say all my favorite Gamertron show videos.
Don't. No. What is this? What is this? Why are you? I'm already advertising you and promoting you. What is this flattery? What are you doing?
Which you can see the URL just below. So I love to, I just love, and one of my favorite things that I love doing is just walking. I love walking places.
Same here. Yeah.
Yeah, I prefer that if I can walk there, I'd prefer to walk there versus driving. Because I love from a guy who reviews hentai games, I love nature. I really do love nature.
Yeah, I get that. Totally get that. Yeah, I can see that. It's not some crazy thing that you can't love, the love of, shoot, how am I going to word this without it sounding super awkward? There's nothing wrong with loving nature's call while also loving the call of nature? Does that work?
Yeah, that works. That works fine.
Oh man, movies, television.
Movies. I actually worked at a cinema for about 10 years.
Oh my lord, you are just full of surprises.
So, I'd say that after I did my stint at the long time, I kind of stepped back from movies. I like the Avengers movies. I'm starting to really like Netflix movies. I've started watching a lot of stuff on Netflix recently. And yeah, I try to go away from, because I'm on YouTube a lot. I watch a lot of YouTubers. I love watching streams and stuff like that. I don't watch regular TV because I find that the regular is just so dry and it's so boring. I prefer YouTube over it 100 times. If didn't matter how many you would be able to show me on Australian television, I would prefer to watch a Let's Player or somebody work over a video. I find that 10 times more entertaining.
Well, you could argue it's more human and natural and not corporate and manipulated.
Yeah, exactly. And I find that, you know, when you're looking at something on TV that's got a runtime of, say, 25 minutes, they've got to fit that within a 25-minute block. The people that I watch, and they're unchained or unhinged to the point where they'll do videos for up to an hour, 2 hours. I around and listen to it like a podcast, and I love that so much more. It's much more personal.
Agreed. I totally see that. Oh, music. What's some of your favorite music or music genres?
Music. I really am an instrumental guy. I love listening to instrumental music. I love instrumentals from video games. If you had to pick like a sort of era of music, I love anything from the 90s or the 80s because, I mean, so for me, I love that stuff. I still love music now, and I still dig a lot of the music that, you know, that's on the airwaves. But there's just something about the classics I just can't get away from.
I hear that. I get that. There's a lot of, like, so many songs that are just, like, purely original, from the heart, and, like, again, a lot of stuff nowadays, very corporate, very manipulated, very by the numbers. But I get that, man. I totally get that. Speaking of music, and voices that sound like music, since you work so much with SilkyMilk, you gotta tell me what's like working with her. What's it like having a SilkyMilk, the SilkyMilk, as one of your voice actresses?
She's the worst person on the planet. She's so unprofessional.
I will cut you.
Joking. No, I absolutely love her. She cannot begin to express. I've worked with a lot of voice actresses. She's honestly a friend. I cannot begin to describe the absolute care and consideration that she takes for me in general, even before we start talking about business. She's so professional to work with, and I think that I've hit her range of, just when we think, oh, she's voiced 7 characters in Shady Lewd Cart, I'll put up an audition thing, or you know it, she's applying for another one, and I'm like, holy shit, she can do that voice as well. Well, she's doing that one as well. So, and she actually, we recent ones, which is a little bit more a little bit more out there. It's a female version of the puppet from our show of Shady Corner called Terry, and we did Terry Trashette, and she did the voice for that. And so my directions for her, I sent her me doing the voice of Terry, and me doing the voice of Terry sounds a lot like this. So when I sent that, what I need you to do is I need you to do an impression of me doing an impression of, but I want you to try to sound like a really gruff woman doing an impression of me doing an impression of this. And she said, it's back. So like, imagine somebody as, her voice is so smooth. So to hear her just go, oh yeah, suck on this. Like, voice, it was an absolute fucking riot to hear her to say that, and some of the things she said, which I'm not going to repeat, but like you can see in the new demo that we launched, she is an absolute riot. I got her to say, I was like, "Can you say all of this?" And she was like, "Oh shit, yeah, I'll say all of that." And it's stuff that you'll never ever. I don't think you'll ever hear us for sure.
So we can agree that SilkyMilk is an angel, correct?
Oh yeah, definitely.
Oh Lord. Tell me, I'm curious, Shade. What are some of your like favorite nerdy franchises? Well, like what's a franchise and IP that you're really attached to, that you have an emotional attachment to?
Oh, an emotional attachment. Oh my god. It has to be the Sonic franchise, to be honest with you.
Really? Sonic the Hedgehog?
I'm a really big collector of Sonic merch. I have like 2 to 3 bookshelves of just Sonic related memorabilia, not just from games, like plushies, books, board games. I grew up. One of the first games I ever played, and I know has had some ups and downs, but I still love him. Like since the first time I played his games. So for me, I wouldn't say I'm one of these like really avid Sonic fans that gets really bent over change or anything like that. That I'm open to change, especially in his franchise. I'm more about the as a whole rather than just focusing on one particular element. So for me, anything Sonic related, I'm all over it like a rash.
Wow. That's a big surprise. That's cool, man. That's cool. Now, on a somewhat semi-related question and note, do you like animals?
Do I have we call it the farm here at my house. We did have 2 guinea pigs. Recently, we rehomed one because one of them passed away, unfortunately. But we rehomed one of our other guinea pigs. But I got 2 dogs and I've got 2 cats. And honestly, I don't care what anyone else says. Like, look, you can criticize me for my games. You can criticize me for my videos. You say you don't like dogs, and we're gonna have a bit of a beef. You're gonna have to meet me out in the street for a fight, because I honestly, dogs to me, they're just they fix everything without having to do anything. I come home, I've got 2 dogs, one Tyrion, one Crash. They are honestly, and this is I even say this to my fiance. I say, I know we're getting married, but there's a little bit more. And then she turns and looks at me and goes, "Yeah, no, I like the dogs a little bit more too." So she gets it.
That's true love right there.
Love.
Oh my goodness. All right, Shades. Now it's time for some jokey bullshit questions. Are you ready?
Oh, I'm beyond ready.
All right. So, we're having a hedgehog apocalypse. The hedgehogs are rising up to take vengeance on humanity. What would you do? How would you survive it?
Did you plan this before or after I mentioned the Sonic?
I'll let you guess for yourself.
Look, all right, a hedgehog apocalypse. They're rising up. Look, what would I do? I'd let them. Look. It depends on how hostile they're going to be. I'd probably let them just do it because they're hella cute. And have you seen when they float in water and shit, and how cute they are when they're like floating around their little fat butts? Like, oh my god! So now you got me talking about animals and shit. I love them, man. Nah, I'd be hell chill about it.
So you'd be okay with the hedgehogs wiping out humanity?
Yeah, nah, I'd be fine with it.
Alright then. Alright. Keep that in mind. I'll keep that in mind. Alright. So, the immortal question. Tits or ass?
Ooh. Oh, shit. To pick between the two, I'd probably say tits. Because honestly, like, between I used to just be a tits guy, and then one day I was like, oh, I like butts now, and now you can be like, any day, or give me a midriff. So like look, it's all right. The spectrum's huge now, but if I have to pick, it's gonna be tits.
All right. Okay. I see how it is. I see how it is. There are several who I've interviewed in the past that are going to appreciate that answer.
Okay.
Some might even say you picked the right answer. No, I'm kidding. Nobody ask people. Don't get angry with me. Okay, so all right. So you have the opportunity to have your dream threesome. What would it be? How would you describe it? How would you put it together?
Oh shit. What? Even down to like they're gonna be involved.
Yeah, who's involved? The location, the scenery,
Woo!
Whatever.
Woo! Okay. All right. Let's set the scene. So I would probably all right, and have to be. It's gonna have to be at least one of the chicks from Senran Kagura. All right, you're gonna have maybe some Katsu. She's hell lewd, right? But I'm also thinking this because she's a loud bitch. She's like, "Hi, I'm Daisy." Like she's fucking crazy, man. And I reckon she would be nuts in the sack. So here it is, setting the scene. It would be on like a tropical island, much like Dead or Alive Extreme Beach Volleyball. And I get there, and they've got like petals sprinkled, but then on closer inspection, as you look at the rose, I'm like, oh, these are weird looking. Oh, they're nacho tortilla chips. Oh, now you've really enticed me, you know. And so then it leads to like a shack in this sort of grove. And as I walk in and I open the door, and then as I walk in, open the door, and then I see Katsuragi standing there, and she's wearing a maid outfit like a giant tortilla chip.
Oh my lord. Oh man, I'm shocked. You've really thought this through.
Yeah, I have. Yeah, unfortunately.
Okay, now, unfortunately, I have to ask the follow-up question. Why isn't your fiancé involved in this fantasy?
Look, me and my fiancé, we're hanging out every day. We're hanging out 24/7. Had this deal, and when I met her, I said, look, exist, and aliens come to Earth. Alien. And she turned around to me and she said, hey, that's fine. Look, if aliens exist... fuck the alien. I'll let you fuck the alien. I've said the same thing to her about certain situations. If there is we're not in that type of relationship, but if there is a particular moment where something that will throw a curveball in life, where you get an opportunity to fuck a tentacle monster, you'll let it happen. So, and you would, I'm going to hit my table. You would be an asshole not to let your significant other take that once in a lifetime chance.
Okay, then we'll accept that answer. Okay. Say this. You're going on an adventure. You're going on an adventure to some unexplored region of the world. But you can only bring one item with you. What would you bring?
Oh shit. Unexplored area of the world. All right. I would bring an owner hole fleshlight. And the reason why I would bring an owner hole fleshlight, multiple reasons. One, I can have sex with the fleshlight, then that way I don't have to get kinky with the wild. Second of all, it can store water in it. It's basically like a water bottle.
Oh.
Third of all, right? I could use it as protection. Okay? That shit on my fist, and then I could punch my way through some rocks like Minecraft. And then
wait, that's not how fleshlights work.
Look, Look, this is my scenario. Okay? But yeah, it'd probably be a fleshlight for sure.
All right then. Okay. Okay.
Yep.
Okay. Well. All right. So, Shady, can you tell me something that you just irrationally hate? Like, it's not something that's actually like evil or bad. You just irrationally hate it.
Rationally hate. Ugh. Let's see. I hate. That's a hard one. Like, say, okay, like if I've been really honest, I hate when you're laying in bed at night and you hear a mosquito near your ear.
That's not
I hate
something. That's not irrational. That's totally reasonable to hate that.
Is it? Is it?
Yeah,
Okay. Well, all
it's
right.
mosquitoes. Who doesn't hate mosquitoes?
True. Well, I mean, there probably is a kink out there that likes them.
Well, they're objectively wrong.
Arrest. I don't know. I don't think I would. I don't think there'd be anything. There's very few things that I hate. You know, yeah, mosquitoes, and even then, it's not irrational. So,
all right, it's okay. I think we found your match with this question. So, for those of you who want to get Shady off his game, just ask him what he irrationally hates because he can't answer it.
Yep.
Okay, so we've come to the part of the interview which I know all my guests enjoy. At the tail end, I like to do something a little special and a little different. Now you get to ask me questions, as serious or as silly as you like.
Oh, awesome. Okay. Waiting for this shit. Okay. Okay. I've got like a bazillion, but I'll only ask you a few because there's only so many hours in the day. What is your ideal significant other?
Are we talking about like a description of a personality or like an actual person that I know?
A description or personality?
Honestly, that's not a question I can answer. Like, it all depends on the content of someone's character. Like, I can't, like, are there certain things in a person I guess I'd want? Sure, but they're very basic, very simple, like intelligence, kindness, a sense of humor. Like, it's like nothing really out there or odd. I think it'd be things everybody would want in a partner. But it's just like, I need to get to know the person. Like, I can't, like, construct a character, like, because people aren't like that. People are molded by their situation. They're molded by their perspective. They're molded by what they go through in life. So, yeah, man, that's a really good starter question. My ideal partner. Yeah, I can't really construct one. Like, I can only meet who's out there and find that special someone.
What made you want to head to this neck of the woods in the lewd sector? Because look, I know a lot of people, they find it a little bit off-putting to come over to this side. I have started to see that you're heading into this territory of lewd voice actresses and playing some games that are a little bit more risque. What made you want to take that leap?
Okay. From now on, whenever anyone asks me these questions, you're all gonna have to pay a fucking fee. This is like the dozenth time I've been asked this fucking question.
Really?
Okay, so let me rehearse this again. So, months ago, I'm sure you're well aware, Studio Foe, the video game Subverse, highest funded Kickstarter game of all time, made some videos on it. Videos got very popular, people demanded more. I started making more. Eventually, I got a comment from the voice actress Pixie Willow. We started chatting, became fast friends. She introduced me to the adult voice actors Discord. Eventually, I joined, met everyone there. everyone there was super kind and nice and just really good people. And I noticed that like everyone involved, like your work, the not safe for work portion of like art and content is heavily stigmatized and just like looked down upon, and I don't believe any of you deserve it. So I wanted to do what I can with my platform, like with the audience I have, to just try and do some good in the world and try and help all of you people who are so nice and so kind and such good people, and you deserve all the love and support that I don't deserve. Like everything I own, I believe you people deserve, because you're so much better than me. You're better people, you're kind people. You don't deserve like the hate thrown your way. Yeah, I just want to help. I just want to help some people.
That is such a. I love that. I love the fact that you legitimately want to help, because I do find that, you know, there is a sort of stigma about it, and seeing your interviews and your you've been doing recently has been really it's been fresh to sort of see that content. All right, I've got one more question for you. All right, brace yourself. If you were to create, you were given a budget, small team, and they came to you and they were like, "Oh, Mr. the Gamertron show guy, look, we noticed that you've been working with some lewd people. We have an idea on what be the next lewd. We want you to pitch us concept for a lewd video game."
Ooh. Oh boy. Oh, I got my work cut out for me with this question. Okay. Ooh. Okay, I need to start brainstorming here. All right. Okay, first off, I'd want it to be voice acted, so I could like have like all the people I've interviewed, all the lovely people I've interviewed star in the game, have them get paid. So it would definitely have voice acting. I don't think I'd do a visual novel. I'd want to do something different. I'm trying to think of a concept like a lewd game, a not safe for work game that'd be a bit different. Studio Foe's already got the sci-fi RPG parody. Hentai Writers already got the platformer, got the 2D platformer down. Huh. Something different, something new. Oh! Lewd Shadow of the Colossus.
Okay.
Like think about this. Think that like the boss battles are actually giantess women.
Oh, so you're like what's that game called that just came out? Like Gun Pixies?
I don't know what that is.
Oh, so Gun Pixies is about these girls, and they have to infiltrate college girls' dormitories and research their behaviors by shooting them with what they call happy bullets. And so they are so there's these girls, and they're really tiny, and they have to like fight these giant women. So yeah, okay, I get you.
Damn it! Fuck, no, then the idea's already been taken. Damn it! Aw.
Yeah, if you want to know any concept idea, pitch it to me, because I've probably played it.
God damn it. Damn it. Okay, we're gonna be here a while then. Lewd Dark Souls.
Okay. Yeah, that really hasn't been done, really.
Yes! We got something!
I can see that.
Okay, all the boss battles are attractive women, or maybe some femboys, be a bit diverse. Yeah, and you don't beat them with weapons, you don't beat them in combat, you beat them through the other means of physical interaction, if you catch my drift.
I'm just gonna say it. He wants to say hand holding. Is what he wanted to say.
Yeah, so I'd make Lewd Dark Souls.
I love it. I love it.
Oh my god, people could actually say this is the Dark Souls of porn games.
They could. They could actually say it.
Oh, that was a great fucking question.
Thank you.
Oh, man. Anyways, Shady, whatever the fuck you prefer to be called. Thank you so much to agreeing to this interview and coming on. Thank you so much for sharing your story. And I hope that everyone watching and listening will go and check out and support this fine man and this dedicated working man. And if people, well, they're going to no matter what, where will people go to find you and support you?
So if you want to check out everything that I'm doing, including the games and the videos, go over to my Patreon page. That's patreon.com/datgame. So that's DATGAME. I post all of the videos that I do there and video game updates. You don't even have to pledge if you don't want to. You can just follow it for the general updates. We obviously do put some stuff behind the Patreon wall as well. But you can also find me on YouTube over at Shady Corner. And I also got a website, so shadycorner.com. And yeah, so I mean if you Google me, I'll probably come up. I mean, just don't Google me too deep because you might see some things that you probably don't want to see about me.
Links to everything Shady, Shade Man, whatever, will be in the description and in the comment section down below. Be sure to click those links because now we come to the part of the interview where we threaten you, the audience, with physical violence unless you go and support my guest. What should we threaten them with?
Okay, well, look, I mentioned it earlier before, probably going to mention it again, but I'm going to have to use two, one for each fist. I'm going to probably have boxing gloves that are basically fleshlights, and I will punch you. Boxing gloves.
That works. So you all know what to do, audience. Go follow him. Go support him. Go give him all your money.
Look. I'll be honest with you. It's not even about that for me. If you just come over and you like a video or you comment, just say, "Hey, look, I watched your video. It made my week." That to me is more than anything. So honestly, I just yeah, just coming over and enjoying my content is good enough for me.
Nonsense. Give him money.